This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And we got ourselves that news update we've been waiting for. Oh yeah, Mike Smith has been activated by the Edmonton Oilers, and at long last, the Oilers' goaltending problems are solved. Mike Smith is here to rescue us and go on a run like no other, and away we go towards a playoff berth, right? Okay, you get where I'm going. It's one move of maybe a couple that need to be made for the Oilers, sure. But here's the thing: Mike Smith activated from the long-term injured reserve, while goaltender Stuart Skinner has been loaned to the Condors. So now you ask, who's our three goalies? And I can just see the chaos in the comments section right now. All right, everybody that panics about goaltending on Dolynny TV is up in flames right now, freaking out that the Oilers don't have a third-string goalie. Well, we actually happen to have this guy named Dylan Wells. That's now our taxi squad goalie. Yeah, he's been there all along, I actually found out yesterday while looking at Cap Friendly. And he's just kind of been chilling on the taxi squad, kind of quarantining, kind of doing whatever he had to do to cross the border into Canada from down there in Bakersfield. And at 23 years old, you've now got Dylan Wells as the Oilers' quote-unquote organizational third goaltender, as Stuart Skinner has been loaned to the Bakersfield Condors, as they just briefly got their season underway, yesterday and the day before. So we now find them having a tandem of Stuart Skinner and Olivier Rodrigue. Oh my goodness. Interesting, eh? As the goaltending thing, it's the gift that keeps on giving. That's really all I can tell you about it right now at this point is, like I said, the gift that keeps on giving. Whether now Mike Smith is fully healthy, ready to go, everybody, oh my goodness, he's going to retire. No, he wasn't going to retire. What kind of goalie would do that? It wasn't something that we were worried about. Nobody was saying from the Oilers media Mike Smith is considering retirement. That was just some silly notion that I don't even know where some of you got that from. Is that it's just lunacy that, it can't possibly get worse. But it can get worse if I think it can get worse. That's about the only school of thinking I thought that idea of Mike Smith retiring was coming from is, well, everybody thinks it can't get worse, so if I say it can get worse, then everything will be okay. Straight up, I don't know. I can't logic it out any other way. The only way this gets worse now is if Mikko Koskinen goes down and your two goalies you're running with is Mike Smith and, by the way, Dylan Wells, who absolutely, I doubt anybody in Edmonton Oilers land outside of people who know the Bakersfield Condors inside out, and of course people like me who do the research every single day know who Dylan Wells is. Do you even know Dylan Wells? Here, maybe I can get you going. I don't know him that well. I know he's been down there in Bakersfield and with the Wichita Thunder for a while, but let's get the profile on Oilers goaltender Dylan Wells, who was drafted back in 2016. 123rd overall, 5th round. Yeah, Dylan Wells, the next guy in line to come up and sit on the bench in case of injury. That would make it, Smith, Grosnick, Skinner, Wells, 4 different goalies to sit behind Mikko Koskinen in an NHL game this year. Talk about interesting, hey? So, there you go. That's what you need to know on that front now. But now Mike Smith, who everybody sits here and doesn't give enough credit to for what he did last year. You know what? Yeah, that play-in opening round might be the coffin in the nail for what he did as an Edmonton Oiler, but let's just quickly go to his stats from last year. By the way, a 295 goals against average, a 902 save percentage, which right about now, the Oilers and the Scotia North could very much so use a goaltender of that quality. Carey Price isn't that quality. Braden Holtby isn't that quality. Mikko Koskinen isn't that quality. Matt Murray isn't that quality. Yeah, there's very few goalies in the North Division that are that quality of goaltender. So all of a sudden, the Oilers start getting 902 save percentage out of a guy like Mike Smith. Talk about how quickly things change. And that's not to say Mikko Koskinen with his 889 or 888 or whatever it is save percentage isn't getting the job done enough to be 6-7, but we'd like to probably be 7-6 after last night as opposed to 6-7. So yeah, it would be nice for sure. And I mean, you look at his save percentage in the playoffs. We don't want to talk about Mike Smith's save percentage in the playoffs. Let's just not go there, shall we? But for the Oilers, that is the move today. That is the move we've all been waiting for today. I know I was staying silent. I did have to run into work and make make some people get heat again. That's a terrible way to put it, but to allow some people heat again, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But what we also have to get to, just quickly, a brief update, as I was kind of wondering about that William Lagesson assist last night. That is, in fact, William Lagesson's first career NHL point. We didn't make a note of that in the live stream last night when he got it, so congratulations to Mr. William Lagesson for sure. And there you go, Jason Gregor breaking it down right now, 29 seconds ago, as I have broken it down for you. Smith activated, Skinner goes to the AHL, and Dylan Wells will be goalie on the taxi squad. So let's talk about why Dylan Wells is the goalie on the taxi squad here briefly while we wrap up this video, is simply because Stuart Skinner has development. He needs to be playing games. He can't be sitting just practicing with the Oilers. So he will at least minimum get probably a 60-40 split with Olivier Rodrigue down there in the AHL. And when the time calls for Skinner, the time calls for Skinner, right? Obviously, when we enter playoffs again, that is when Skinner will make his way up to the NHL again this season, I would assume. That's just an assumption. And you know what assuming does? I don't have to tell you. Your mothers, your fathers tell you that good enough. But that's what I'm assuming, all right? And then, of course, Dylan Wells is kind of the Oilers goalie in the system that doesn't have enough NHL taste in his game yet, right? He hasn't come up and sat on the bench before. He hasn't done the whole thing. He's been here in Edmonton for a couple of weeks now because he was recalled essentially when Olivier Rodrigue was recalled from Austria. But now you've got a situation in which you've got to get Dylan Wells just some reps in practice and just treat him to that NHL lifestyle while not having to pay him against the cap. That is the beauty of that. That is for sure. So, you know what? There is some benefit to having a Dylan Wells on the taxi squad for sure, because A, you get Stuart Skinner in there, and B, it's not a goalie you have to pay anything for against the cap. So that's good for the Oilers as it currently stands. But now the problem is Stuart Skinner is 2.5 weeks away at best before his next action when the Oilers recall him for whenever they need him. That's kind of the problem, right? I mean, how do you do it, right? But again, I think this might also be a little bit of cap clearings for the Oilers, because you have Smith come off the LTIR. That means you have to drop a player, because now you've only got about $1 million in cap space, and you'd like to keep that free so as you can make the changes between the taxi squad and the main squad as need be, because we only have $1 million in money left over from Clefbaum's LTIR, which is still a thing, by the way. If you've forgotten, this is all coming at us very fast, and you thought the world changes fast. Think about the Edmonton Oilers, my goodness. But ladies and gentlemen, another big day, and we will talk again either later tonight or tomorrow. I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am up on out of here.